Bear with me 1 second, guys. I'm trying to get this webcam set up here. Alright, well, we're going off webcam today. Welcome everybody, it's Crypto Buyer. Coming to you once again on the 11th of October. I'm going to do a quick rundown of the market, see where things are going, and then discuss a little bit about ICOs. There's a lot of ICOs this month, a lot of ICOs that are starting, a lot of ICOs that have come and gone, and then a lot of ICOs at the end of this month that I think are interesting, which I'll make specific videos on each of those, kind of going over them. But let's jump right into it. Again, we always say this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial guru or anybody that has financial credentials. Just a guy who is studying the crypto space, have been in it for a while, and kind of documented my journey, but putting some information out there to help you guys become a little bit more knowledgeable about certain things that are out instead of just kind of the big ones, your Bitcoins, Ethereums, and things like that. So, running down the market at 154 billion, which is good. It's pretty stable. I see us cracking the. I see us getting up, pushing that 160 billion, which would be incredible. Here, coming towards that Bitcoin fork. We discussed that yesterday in the video. Bitcoin's down 1% from yesterday, but it had a pretty high run up. I mean, I thought it was going to hit 5,000 yesterday. It kind of consolidated a little bit. I think there were some tokens that came out and some people moving stuff around. Kind of slowed that down a bit, but this is a good stable price. I think if it sits in the 4,700 range today and tomorrow, it's going to just shoot up going into the weekend. Ethereum stable at 300. We talked about Ripple and the Swell conference that's coming up, I think, on the 16th. So beginning of next week, that price could run up in the 35 to 40 range. So that's something to look at if you're looking to you got some extra money just to kind of sit. Litecoin, I like Litecoin. I think it's going to go to a 3-digit coin. 50 bucks is a good point to get in. I don't see it going much lower than that. I don't see it going much lower than 45 bucks. If you want to kind of watch it, because it's slowly down from yesterday, I would just kind of keep an eye on it. If it runs down to 45 bucks, I think it's a good entry point. So OMG is making a good run up, which I'm excited about. I have a pretty good hold in OMG. ARC, like I told you guys, anything under $3 for ARC is fantastic. It's been running up 11% since yesterday. I mean, it was down at like $2.17, which is insane. So it shot up pretty quick. I've been watching ARC since it's about 89 cents. And it had just a quick run up, and I think it consolidated a little bit, but now it's making its move back up to the $3-4 range. So I would keep an eye heavily on ARC. Something else that I'm in, I discussed it earlier in my videos. I'm big on it. I have a big hold on it. Is Verge. It came down to like the 115 Satoshi mark. They have a lot of stuff coming out in their news. They have a Wraith Protocol which is coming out, which from everything that I read, and I know there'll probably be some comments and I'll get some emails saying, oh, Monero's the best, or Dash is the best, or Pivx is the best, and this, that, and the other. But what I read on Verge, just because it does have a fixed supply and it doesn't have an infinite supply like some of those other coins, the Wraith Protocol is really going to set Verge apart when it comes to privacy and privacy transactions. So basically what the Wraith Protocol does is allow you to turn off and turn on your privacy when it comes to making a transaction. So, which is really cool because there's certain things that maybe you want to be private about and you want to make a transaction that's private. Maybe if I'm doing a personal buy of something, like I don't maybe want everybody to know about it. But then if I'm buying something, let's say for my business, I don't want that to be private. I need that. My accountant needs to know what what I'm purchasing, so that we can write that off for the business. So I think the Wraith Protocol is really going to shoot this up. The supply is high, and that's the big knock on Verge, but I could definitely see this with the Wraith Protocol, and if the protocol works, just because of the massive community behind it, I could definitely see this getting to 1 to 5 cents. And that protocol is supposed to be launched within this month. There were some issues with it being released. It was supposed to be released in September. The team came out and said that it would be released sometime during this month. So take a look at Verge if you're looking into getting into a lower price coin that really does have some potential. I got to talk about this, guys, just because I talked about it for the past 2 days. PayPal ICO launched on Sunday. Okay, sold out in 6 hours. They said, hey, it's going to be 14 days till you guys get your tokens. Less than 24 hours later, we had our tokens. Less than 48 hours after the ICO, PayPal's on CoinMarketCap, it's tradable on EtherDelta. You can find it on Blockfolio. It's amazing, guys. How fast these folks have worked, and it's going to hit a few other exchanges like HitBTC here in the next few weeks before the end of the month, and I can really see PayPal making some pretty big strides. Right now, it's actually right at the ICO price, so something to check out, because there's very few times that a coin hits the market and you can jump in right at the ICO price. And it's only on one exchange so far. So I think PayPal right now, obviously, I think it's a good buy because I got in at this price in the ICO. It did make a move yesterday. It opened up here, shot up to like 37 cents. Overnight, it kind of retracted. I think there were some bonus babies that kind of sold out at that price, because the price did open up at the ICO price and hover in that and didn't shoot up. But I would keep an eye on this if you're not going to get in for the next 5 to 7 days, because I see this thing really moving, especially once it hits the other exchanges. I can see it shooting up pretty well. So I think for the most part, most of the PayPal holders are holding and kind of going to wait to see what it does. I've read a lot of videos here of late, and read a lot of articles, watched a lot of videos about how the course of ICOs have started to change, to where maybe 6 months ago it was like, I'm going to put in $1,000, and the day the coin hits, it's going to shoot up. I'm going to 3 times my money, and then I'm going to get out. To where now people are kind of researching a little bit deeper into these companies, and they're more like long-term holds. When I say long-term, I'm talking like 6 months to a year, maybe a little bit less, just seeing where it's at, just because people have seen the price of these ICOs over 6 months to a year shoot up, 10, 20 times. And they're like, wow, if we're just a little bit more patient with this, we could have had a much larger return. Now, this is totally up to you how you want to handle your investment in an ICO. For me, currently, right now, my goal is to get in, get out. So I want to get in, double, 3x my money, and then I'm out. And then I'm going to move on to the next ICO and put all of those profits plus that initial investment into that ICO. That's how you're going to grow your money to the point where eventually, hopefully in the next 3 to 6 months, I'm in a situation where I can take, instead of putting 3 grand into an ICO, now I can put 10 grand into an ICO and let it sit for a year because I have made good profits off the ICOs that I'm currently in. So definitely always do your research on this. Make sure you understand that a lot of these ICOs do what they call bounty programs. A bounty program is where they incentivize YouTubers, article writers to review these ICOs in a semi-positive light, and if they meet certain criteria, the company will issue them basically free tokens for doing so. So sometimes you can get on YouTube and you research ICOs and everybody's raving about this, that, and the other ICO. Make sure you always do your research. Never invest your money just based off one person's opinion. It really needs to be your due diligence. I'm going to start putting my email address down below so you guys can reach out to me via email if you have any questions. I actually have a pretty good, I think it's market rating or ICO rating.com or something like that, where they have a good sheet which I downloaded and I use for my ICOs. It's pretty detailed. Obviously you can make it as detailed as you want. I'll pull it up right now. So this is the ICO rating sheet, which I think is fantastic. It kind of takes the emotion out of it a little bit. So you start with, let me move this up here. You start with the product, and then there's ways you gauge it, and it gives you the whole rundown, like, is this product ready for use? Is there a prototype or an MPV? How long until it's operational, and then you can kind of just gauge it off of this, which is super cool, super easy. I'd be willing to email that to you guys, of course. But they do use the blockchain. You go through the white paper and make sure you click all the boxes: development roadmap, business model, company and team, and token sell, and then it gives you an average. And basically, obviously a 5 out of 5 is 100%. Then you're looking at like 80 to 90, 60 to 70, 40 to 50. We're out on this. Okay, so it gives you a good little ICO rating sheet. I think I've used it for a couple, and I guess we'll see where it goes. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoy the video. As always, I appreciate your ears. Thank you for all the new subscribers. The channel has been up and running for a little over a week. I'm excited about the things that are happening. I love bringing you guys the news on the market and things that I think are cool. If you like what we're doing here, make sure you just subscribe, hit that like button. If you have any comments or questions, just leave them down below. And until next time, guys.